You know, our Constitution is being shredded. We know about the secret wiretaps. We know about the secret military tribunals, the secret White House email accounts.
That was Hillary Clinton in 2007, slamming members of the Bush administration for their use of a private internet domain. With me now, Lanny Davis, White House special counsel during the Clinton administration, and S.E. Cupp, CNN political commentator. Lanny, I want to put up on the screen the email that was, the tweet, pardon me, that was sent out by Secretary Clinton pertaining to this controversy. There it is. I want the public to see my email. I asked State to release them. They said they will review them for release as soon as possible. I am convinced you may have attended the Yale Law School with her, but she never read your book, because your book was all about telling it early, telling it all, telling it yourself. She's not doing any of that.
I also could have added better late than never, though. This is the right move. She could have done it in 2013, and then no one would be talking about it today. But she is the first Secretary of State. Others have used private emails, but she's the first one to say, I want the public to read it. And she's ready for that to happen. So I think it is a good move. If it had been done earlier, it would have followed my advice.
You told me yesterday, when I asked you the why question, that you said convenience. Yeah. Did your phone ring last night? Were you asked to rein that in, or is that the answer?
So I'm glad you reminded everyone that I'm a friend of Hillary Clinton's for over a large number of years since law school, and I am speaking for myself, but I have an observation that it was for convenience, the same reason why, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, that Jeb Bush for 8 years used his private email account and a server. Nothing wrong with what he did. Colin Powell, I think it is convenience. I think it is wanting to preserve some access to your own emails and be able to know who's going to be looking at it or not. But right now, she's completely exposed. It will have to be verified if the State Department says, you gave us $55,000, we want to see what else is there. She's now open to complete verification. So the issue of whether it can be trusted or not, I think she's now said, I want everybody to read what I've given you. And of course, the State Department can ask for more.
But how will we know what she hasn't given us? That's the problem.
Isn't the glass half empty analysis that this isn't about convenience, it's about control. She's in the complete power seat of deciding what's going to come out.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder, it makes you question the way government responds to Hillary Clinton, right? That no one at the State Department, no one in her inner circle, no one in the White House said, even just to spare yourself a future headache, get yourself a .gov email address. It makes you wonder if she's become maybe a little too big, a little too powerful, that no one will tell her, you're getting in your own way. Maybe this is going to come back to haunt you. So that's not the way you want government to work, whether she's in the White House or whether she's at the State Department.
It's a very fair point, S.E., and I don't say they're the same, but you have to wonder, after 8 years and 3 million emails, why Jeb Bush kept his own server and why they didn't say the same thing to him. And he has cherry-picked what he's disclosed. And what I agree with both of you, that she's got to now be subject to verification. No one can take her word or her staff's word. She's now open to that. The subpoenas have already been issued. She will have no choice but to respond. The State Department might ask for more. So verification, transparency is the end of what is a legal, we both agreed yesterday with the expert. Everything she did was legal. She followed the regulations. The law changed in 2014. Now it's a crisis management.
The optics are terrible. S.E., I want to show everybody what you wrote in your New York Daily News column, and let Lanny see this as well, if we can put that up on the screen. You said there are two possibilities. Either Clinton was told these were bad ideas and she ignored the advice, or no one around her had the temerity to tell her the truth. Either way, this is very, very bad, not only for Hillary's presidential aspirations, but for her ability to be an effective public servant, answerable to all instead of accountable to none. When I read that, I said to myself, you know, the worst critic of the Clintons would have to admire their intellect. They are very bright individuals. I'm sure this was done with a great deal of thinking. And your point is that somebody should have reined them in and said, you're making a bad mistake here. If for her own good. The optics.
Right, for her own good, to preserve her future potential as a candidate. The problem is she's become too big to fail. She's become an institution with so many investors who want her to succeed over 30 years that no one's telling her, this is going to be bad for you. I'm on your side. Help yourself.
We got the guy
get
to
around this.
Is there an emperor has no clothes problem with her, that people have a difficult time saying, hey, this is goofy. Why are you doing this?
I think wisdom is in hindsight, but honestly, I know I won't be surprising you that this is much ado about nothing. We had a lot of headlines and a lot of breathless comments, with all due respect, such as yours, about something called Whitewater. 3 years to $70 million later, nothing. This is going to be a big nothing. 3 months from now.
This is the problem, though, when people like Lanny or David Brock or her friends tell you the sky is green when you can see that the sky is blue. This does her no favors. To pretend that she is the victim of a Republican smear campaign or the media, let that sink in for a minute, I think does her a huge disservice. And if that's going to be the campaign mantra for her presidential campaign, anytime someone asks a valid question,
Lanny Davis,
bad news for her.
But I didn't say that, and I don't agree that it is a smear campaign, but I do think it's analogous to Whitewater.
Thank you both for being here. Appreciate your time, as always. Up next.